as you can tell from the title of this video, it's probably gonna suck. I mean, seriously, I don't think many people care about that much about the Rogues Gallery. I, I mean, obviously they're big characters, but I think most of them would work pretty realistic in real life. I think, but I think, what else? What else would work in real life? Where the hell? Just forget I said that. I was trying to make a joke, and I actually forgot what the pun was. But yeah, I'm Lightwing. You can call me Luke, and it's my channel. And I decided to do part 2 of you know what if Batman was real. I thought it would be a fun video to make part 2. Later today I'm going to be doing Act 2 of the Batman pre-write. That's gonna be dope. If you're new here and you like videos like this, leave a like, subscribe, and apparently this means subscribe now. And yeah, we're happy to have you here. And today we are. I already said this. Whatever, I'll say it again. We're going over the Rogues Gallery and what they would be like in real life. Batman's Rogues Gallery. Because you know what? I think that they'd be pretty interesting. Also, I think it would be better if I just shed this angle. I, I don't like doing videos in the bathroom, but I feel like, have you ever had that one family who's always crazy and just doesn't know when to shut up? Yeah, that's mine. But yeah, so I guess we should get into probably the first villain that I think would work. Clayface. Now he's the most unrealistic villain I've ever seen. And honestly, we could take whatever actor or singer or anyone who is having a failed career right now, probably Henry Cavill. Sorry man, like you're not doing so well. And make him Clayface. Now the thing is, Clayface does not work in real life, which makes me wonder how can we make this work? I thought he'd be an interesting challenge. I had a few different ways of doing this, like keeping him true to the comics and let him have his powers, but I found out another way that we could possibly do this. Now, I looked something up. There's this skin condition. I forgot what it was called, so I can't like, and I don't want to just like look it up because I'm lazy. But from what I saw in the Batman animated series, I'm pretty sure we can use his origins from there, mostly because I don't know his regular origins, and say maybe that's how he becomes Clayface. Only he doesn't like shapeshift or anything. We can say that the makeup that he was putting on his skin gave really just infected him, and really infected him, gave him an infection. His skin started to like I guess I don't know, maybe I don't know, start turning brown. It's kind of like it has this weird clay texture to it. It doesn't like come off or anything. His face just looks like clay, and we can and that could be how he gets his powers, Clayface. And because of that, no one wants to hire him for movies or shows. People just want to make fun of him. He's a failed actor. I think the person who should be Clayface is Henry Cavill. Now, right now, Henry Cavill, I would say, isn't doing so hot in the DCU. I don't know what happened, but I just know he pretty much got Me Too'd out of the DCU. It's not jail or anything, no false accusations, but like I'm pretty sure, and I don't know exactly this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's because of him talking about the Me Too movement that got him fired, I believe. Or maybe he quit, I don't know. But he's British, so he can't be Clayface. So I was thinking maybe I don't know, maybe Adam Sandler. No one really talks about him anymore, so like, I mean, he'd be a perfect fit. Really, any actor can be Clayface. I mean, that's just part of his origins. He was an actor. He put on some makeup or something, and then he became Clay. It was some poisonous makeup. We could say that the makeup was like some product that was sold to him. It had extreme side effects, which made his face look really bad. So he had to. So he had to commit crimes for a living, maybe, or something. Really, any actor with a failed career can be Clayface. You know, I don't judge. Now, I was thinking, this was hard. It was really hard. Poison Ivy, and I think any crazy vegan lady should be Poison Ivy. Like anyone. They just have to. Their qualifications just have to be. They have to have red hair. But yeah. Now how would she work? Well, we could say that she was a hard-working feminist, which is pretty much Poison Ivy, who really loved plants and thought, you know, we deserve 9/11, and they're pigs and shit, and all that. She'd also, I guess, probably, you know, really like plants. She'd be kind of like Ivy from Gotham. She'd create some stuff out of plants, like perfumes and maybe some lipstick, put it on people, make people get a little woozy. Not completely like full on mind controlling them, but like you know, making people, you know, I would say kind of, you know, just a little bit sleepy, or maybe sometimes, you know, to the point where she could possibly control them. Not saying that like they'll do everything she says, but like, like I don't know if they're feeling the right way, you know, maybe I don't know. And maybe she can even have some stuff where she injects people with poison, or maybe she puts on some lipstick that could poison people. But then again, that would also poison her. So I would say that technically, she would most likely just be she would just have that, you know, perfume stuff she had in Gotham, and that's about it. Two-Face. He is the most realistic Batman villain almost ever. I won't say he's completely the most, you know, realistic. I think Penguin probably a bit more realistic, but still. So how would Two-Face work? Well, exactly like in the comics, dumbass. I mean, it's really not that unrealistic. Um, we can say that maybe the reason for him getting his face burnt was because, well, okay, we can say he was working maybe a criminal case, which sometimes lawyers have to do depending on what type of lawyer you are. So, and Two-Face is known for being a lawyer, so we can just pick any lawyer and say and we can say he's born with the name Harvey Dent. Boom, done. And we can say and we can say all this shit happened to him, pretty much. Now, some lawyers work criminal cases, as I just said. So we can say he was working a criminal case. For maybe some criminal, the next one that I'm going to be talking about, Oswald Cobblepot, and we can say that maybe he was you know, and we can say maybe he was you know, I get he got this guy, or maybe not even Oswald Cobblepot, maybe someone who's part of like a gang or something, and like they just like have, like, you know, I guess they kind of have beef with him now that he got one of their guys put in jail. So like what they do is, you know, they capture him, they torture him a little bit, and they burn some of his face off with which is the really important part about this. We could use hydrochloric acid, but I don't actually know. Maybe we could also just say they torched his face up a little bit. We don't. There's really a number of different ways they could have burnt some of his face. So, but I guess we can just take the simple route and say that they burnt his face with maybe some boiling water or something. Who knows? Maybe like sculpt his face a little bit, you know. And because of this, he has kind of like a psychotic break, and he's not able to be a lawyer anymore. So I mean, not because like he got injured, just because he has a psychotic break. If you didn't get that, so I kind of think that this will kind of cause him to go insane, and he'll create another persona. Another persona. It would like just I guess talk to take over, kind of like split personality, kind of like him in the comics. And obviously, he'd be, I guess, kind of, cool, 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 cool. Now we gotta talk about Penguin, which is probably the easiest one here. Now, as I said in my last video, Gotham will just be New York with a different name, pretty much. Pretty much. That means we can just say that, and I think, and I don't know if this was New York, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but we can say that, maybe Penguin's part. But I know I was reading something about, the mafia back in New York or something. Maybe Penguin was part, maybe not part of the well, yeah, part of the mafia, but like, maybe like he brought back like a new wave of mafia, or maybe not. Maybe he's just some random gangbanger who obviously takes up the nickname Penguin, and and he kind of I could say maybe he just operates a lot like the mafia. Maybe instead of the mafia, his dad owned, like, well, I guess, yeah, it could still be the mafia, but like his dad owned them. So now that his dad's dead, now Penguin's here, he owns the mafia. He's in charge, and like we can say that it's not just a bunch of Italian guys or something. We could say it's really anyone, because Oswald's kind of British. So basically, Oswald can be really just any British gangbanger, pretty much. He doesn't even have to be British. I mean, watch Gotham. He can still be American. I don't know. He could be Italian. He could be whatever the fuck he want. I don't know. Next is Catwoman, which was really hard. I mean, not really hard, but like, I mean, given her origin story, I mean, I don't think anyone will want to randomly dress up like a cat. We can just say she's some. We can just take any random girl, who grew up, became a thief, and say, um, you know what, she took dance lessons or something, got really acrobatic and stuff. I'd also say there's a little bit crazy in her, kind of like in my last video where I said there's a little crazy in Batman. Like she's not mentally well. She's kind of cuckoo. Yeah, like she's. So Damien, I mean, what the Damien? Where did I get Damien? So like I think anyone dressing up like a cat every night is not mentally well. I think maybe because of her traumatic events, maybe as when she was a kid. Um, that caused a lot of stuff, a lot of problems, and maybe that's why she decided to become a cat burglar. I mean, not why she literally decided to become a cat burglar. Yeah, like maybe all she had was cats, and that's where she got the persona. I don't know. I mean, people are weird. Okay, we're living in the Me Too culture age. We don't know what people will do. Last but not least, Joker. Smile so your heart is aching. Joker is my favorite villain. He is so he acts like how a villain should act, and I commend him. Commend. And I think his regular origin story in the new movie is actually probably the best way to go. Now, if you haven't like seen the new Joker movie, there's gonna be a bit of spoilers in here, but pretty much, actually, you know what? You probably already know this from the trailers. Why do I say spoilers? Actually, there might be a little spoilers. He was treated very badly by everyone. He's always constantly being beaten up on the street. He was fired from being a comedian. He has a psychiatrist or I don't know, therapist. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Anyways, they give him this little book where he gets to write all his thoughts. I don't know, stuff, things going on in. He stops taking pills. He's kind of a schizo, and he starts to riot. He kills a bunch of people, pretty much. He actually works as a clown a little bit, but he gets fired because when he was entertaining some kids at a hospital, a gun that his friend gave him kind of falls out. Yeah, it was just like one bad day. Wait a minute. So I think that Damien. I mean, what's up with me and Damien? So Joker, like he eventually goes insane. He kills basically Murray on his own show. He widens his smile with the blood from his mouth, and this is a big spoiler. A really big spoiler. So I'm warning you. It's all in his head. At least pretty much. Like most of it is in his head. Him starting to write in his head. Scenes where the guy says, "I want a son. I wish I had a son like you." In his head, his whole entire relationship with Domino. I mean, not Domino. What Deadpool? What is all in his head? Like she freaks out when she sees him in his apartment, and this is where he. And I think at the end of the movie, it really shows how far a society can just push someone to the edge, and I think that is a very realistic version of the Joker. In fact, take anyone from who's in the middle or who's just poor, and like they can be the Joker. Anyone with a mental illness can be the Joker. Anyone who's treated bad can be the Joker. Anyone can be the Joker. And I think that's why a lot of people like him. And I'm gonna quote Gotham for a second. He's more than a man. He's an idea. He's a philosophy. He lives on in the heart of Gotham. And if you guys don't know what I mean, someone will take his place. Even if they don't call themselves Joker, even after Joker's gone, we'll have people like Victor Zsasz. Even if they're not inspired by the Joker, there's a Joker in anyone who just has one bad day. There's a Joker in you. There's a Joker in me. We all have a Joker, and I think that's what Joker is. He's very relatable because at the end of the day, it just takes one bad day to make you go insane. So now we have to go